yesterday, said he is not at that point yet for a lockdown. It's still sort of in this restaurant. Not expected to announce that in this 5 o'clock address right now. I think she's just going to talk about the readiness steps the city has taken. I think as we've seen some prepared remarks, Brandis, CPS schools are going to be closed much longer than what she had initially outlined. She's also going to talk a little bit about the economic impact. She's going to try to ensure people that Chicago's going to take a hit for this, but because it's a very diversified economy, tax revenue comes from a lot of different sources, it's not going to be catastrophic for the city. And then there's the whole issue of federal bailouts. Federal government right now is debating bailouts of all sorts of different things. So she's saying we're going to the federal government to get a bailout for the city.
We're going to take a look at the Mayor Lightfoot speaking right now from City Hall. So it looks like we're having trouble getting audio for the mayor at the moment. We're hoping to hear her exact words in just a few minutes. You know, Paris, we also heard from the governor earlier today as well, you know, just updating us on the numbers. And in fact, he actually said that we could end up in the measures that we've instituted lately, that these measures could continue for a lot longer than we've anticipated, as you mentioned, with CPS schools being closed. I
think it's going to go on a lot longer than the 2 weeks that they said. And you look at the exponential growth of the cases, Brandis, 100 and something 2 days ago, then 288, I believe it was yesterday. Today, 422 confirmed cases, and these are just the cases we know about in Illinois. 4 deaths, according to the governor. You've got towns like Oak Park, which we're going to talk about later on the show tonight at 7, that have instituted shelter in place. They've had a little bit of an outbreak over there. So I think the governor has taken these actions because he's seen what these projections are, and these projections are unfortunately coming true. Exponential growth in these cases. We're still waiting for audio.
I think we're still waiting for audio on the mayor. And of course, for those of you who are watching at home and online with us, thank you for sticking around with us. Hopefully we'll bring that audio to you very shortly. We have gotten a chance to take a look at some of her early remarks, but we want you to be able to hear them directly from her. Of course, you know, the other thing, Paris, I would imagine, you know, there are a lot of ramifications that come with a potential shelter-in-place order. And so, you know, I would imagine she would resist that as long as she can until she absolutely has to institute something like that.
I would imagine that, Brandis, and it's really hard to enforce that. I mean, how do you enforce it? Do you bring the National Guard in? Do you make Chicago police stop everybody that's driving in the street or walking in the street and saying, are you doing this for an essential purpose? What a shelter in place essentially means is you can't go out of your place of shelter, your dwelling place, unless it's for an essential thing, to go buy groceries, for a medical visit. I guess if you have to go visit your grandma or something like that, that's allowed. Beyond that, you're not supposed to walk, you're not supposed to bike, you're not supposed to be in your car,
and even then,
public transit.
You know, what they did in the Bay Area, we're talking about 7 counties. So I would imagine that, you know, a Chicago mayor, you can't just shut down Chicago proper. If that is the case, you probably have to work with other municipalities and county executives in the Chicagoland area and the governor.
That order can't come from the mayor of Chicago. It would have to come from the governor, and it would have to be in conjunction with the Cook County board president, other counties. And, you know, Oak Park is doing this shelter in place, and what they've told me, to be clear, is that they're not looking to punish people for not, you know, people are going to go out if they're going to go out. They're just doing this to drive the point home that this is serious. You know, it's not like the police are going to stop everybody in the street and say, here, you get a $100 fine here for violating the shelter-in-place order. It's just sort of a measure of the gravity of the situation and just getting it in people's minds that they need to halt the spread of this pandemic by doing things like this. And so the mayor is going to talk about the preparedness efforts.
That's right. We are still waiting on that audio. And, you know, the governor, in one of his executive orders that he talked about today, he has signed an executive order making telemedicine, telehealth easier and to be covered by insurance. So that way more folks can do that, so that way they don't have to leave their homes to seek that medical treatment. I would imagine, since the mayor has issued an order for the Chicago area to please stay home unless you are sick, or unless you're going, if you are sick.
Stay home if you're, don't leave
sick,
home
unless you're going out to seek, you know, food or medicine or emergency services. Hopefully that sort of telehealth, that technology will help people stay indoors.
Yeah, I mean, it should be common sense too. If you do have some kind of symptoms, even if you haven't been tested for COVID-19, don't leave your house if you're sick. I mean, I think there are a lot of questions, is how do you get groceries? You know, you have grocery stores now opening earlier in the morning just for the elderly or disabled, so they get the first crack at the supplies out there. You know, some people have talked about maybe there should be a National Guard deployed to help bring groceries to the elderly if it really is dangerous for them to go out and interact with a lot of folks. And I want to let viewers know that you know, we're trying to get the feed of this, it's a pool feed, we're trying to get the feed of this, the audio for it for everybody now, but we will run this in its entirety on our 7 o'clock live program, WTTW Chicago Tonight. But once again, you know, the rumors about a lockdown or stuff like that, you know, that is not happening.
Well, and Paris, you and I, we're, you know, as members of the press, we're getting access right now to her remarks as prepared. And I will tell you, you know, you and I are looking through this right now at first glance. I'm not seeing anything that says there will be a citywide shelter in place order. But, you know, we talked about CPS earlier, and, you know, she does want to address the anxiety around schools, of course. You know, a lot of parents right now, they've been at home. Today's only Thursday, and they've been at home for these last 3 days. And as a mother with small children, I know that it can be challenging to have kids in the house. And they're also supposed to be, you know, you want to keep them learning. But she has said that, you know, she's spoken with the Chicago Commissioner of Public Health, Dr. Allison Arwady, who we are lucky enough, she's made time to be on this show earlier this week, as well as schools chief Janice Jackson. And based on what they are anticipating for the spread of this virus, she is announcing that schools will be closed through April 20th, with students returning to school on Tuesday, April 22nd. So that is several weeks beyond what the governor had issued for his, when he announced the closure of schools a week ago on Friday, that students would return on March 31st.
It's very clear that many aspects of this shutdown are going to go. I mean, we have not reached the peak of this bell curve in the pandemic. I want to hit on some of the things that she's announcing today in this speech. She's talking about a Chicago Small Business Resiliency Loan Fund. So she's saying there's going to be a fund that she's starting with $100 million seeded in it, targeted to low interest loans to severely impacted small businesses, you know, businesses that need the cash right now. And, you know, you look at restaurants and you look at bars and music venues and places like that that absolutely cannot operate. And you've got workers there that do not have a paycheck. I mean, their income depends on them being able to be in these places, servers, bartenders like that. So it looks like there's going to be a loan fund that's targeted directly toward those types of folks.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'm hearing that we've got that audio in place now. Let's go back live to Mayor Lori Lightfoot at City Hall.
Stay home if you are sick. That's an order. Let me also repeat, if you are a member of a vulnerable population, that means people over 60, but especially people with underlying medical conditions, stay home if at all possible. Put your health first, and don't put yourselves or others at risk. Now, I know these restrictions are causing hardships, but we are doing this to save lives, pure and simple. We have seen what these extreme measures have yielded in places like Japan and Singapore. Those countries have started bending the arc of the virus, and China is reporting progress for the first time. These measures work, and we need them now as this virus progresses here in Chicago. Next, let me address the anxiety that many are feeling about the status of our schools. As you know, on Tuesday of this week, schools were closed through March 30th by order of the governor, who closed all schools, public and private, across the state. In consultation with Dr. Arwady and Dr. Janice Jackson and her team at CPS, given what we anticipate as the continued upward trajectory of the virus spread, I'm announcing now that Chicago Public Schools will be closed through April 20th, with students returning on Tuesday, April 21st. We need to give parents and guardians plenty of advance notice about this reality and the ability to plan. CPS and the city will continue to support you in the ways that they have through these early days of the school closures. 1,000 thanks of gratitude to everyone inside and outside of CPS who have been stepping up for our kids and our families. I want to especially thank those who have contributed to the fund to support food services for CPS families, notably Ken Griffin, who today donated $2.5 million, $1 million to CPS and $1.5 million to the Greater Chicagoland Foods Depository. Ken and others are exhibiting extraordinary civic leadership at its finest. Let's talk dollars and cents for a moment. No question that our local economy is being hit hard by this crisis. Most notable is our hospitality industry. Conventions, hotels, restaurants, Bars and other forms of entertainment and service industries are suffering. Many have shared the immediate issues of cash shortages, concerns about making payroll, and for many, the very survival of your business is in question. We also see the needs of our airlines, airports, and the related businesses that depend upon air transportation every day. Our mass transit is also being hit as people appropriately follow the directives to stay home, and employers have activated teleworking options for their employees. Know this: we have the incredible benefit of being a strong and diverse economy. In other instances where similar industries were hit here in Chicago, for example, as a result of 9/11, and more recently, the Great Recession of 2008 and 2009, our local economy in Chicago and the region bounced back strong and quickly from these downturns. We are working at all levels of government, local, county, and state, to make sure that the final tale of this economic challenge will be the same: a strong comeback. I will talk more about this in a moment. I have also received a number of questions about city finances and revenue. While this crisis is certainly adversely affecting many parts of our local economy, I want to assure you that our city finances remain strong, and here's why. By design, no single revenue stream is more than 13% of our overall revenues. And what we call economically sensitive taxes, meaning those that are most sensitive to potential downturns, like sale taxes, our share of state income taxes, recreational and hotel taxes. In the aggregate, these taxes make up less than 25% of the revenue streams for our city budget. We have more than sufficient cash on hand, and we prepared for a potential economic downturn as part of the projections we released last year for our 2020 budget. Finally, it helps that we received an unexpected $100 million windfall from refinancing our debt earlier this year. And we are looking at other opportunities to leverage the low interest rates that currently exist. Be aware that we continue to monitor this situation on a daily basis, and our Chief Financial Officer, Jenny Bennett, and her team are on the case. So while city finances are weathering this storm, for many individuals, this is the financial challenge of a lifetime. Here's some immediate steps we have taken to help relieve the burden on you. We have suspended many of the debt collection, ticketing, and impounding practices that the city engages in until April 30th. This includes suspending the booting of cars, late fees and default on payment plans for all city debt. This includes parking tickets, red light camera and speed violations, and utility bills. We will not make any collection efforts until April 30th at the earliest, and we will not be referring you to debt collectors. And accordingly, the Chicago Administrative Courts is continuing all court dates until at least April 30th without any interest penalties. No city debt checks will be conducted for rideshare and taxi drivers, and we are limiting ticketing and towing and impounding of vehicles to public safety related issues. Given the economic pressures that many of you are facing, as a government, we are stepping up to do our part to take a brick off your back. We know that this temporary suspension will bring some measure of relief. I want to also note and thank Sheriff Tom Dart, who previously announced that he is delaying enforcement of all eviction orders until April 30th. I call upon all property owners to give tenants some grace wherever possible during these trying times. No one needs the added stress of evictions, certainly not now. Similarly, I call on banks to grant relief from foreclosure efforts during this crisis. Thanks also goes to the Chicago Community Trust and the United Way for setting up the Chicago Community COVID-19 Response Fund, which will provide help on food, rent, and other items of need. Also, as you know, at the beginning of my administration, we ended water shutoffs for residential customers. Water is a basic human right. Today, I took the additional steps and called upon all of our suburban water authority customers that's 125 suburban communities, to immediately take necessary action to also stop water service disconnections for non-payment as our state grapples with the COVID-19 pandemic. I applaud and thank those communities that have already taken this important step. While we must address the individual needs of our residents during this challenging time, it is also important that at the city level, we also take a leading role in supporting our small businesses. When we support small businesses, we support their workers, who in turn help uplift the vibrancy of our neighborhoods. That is why I am proud to announce the creation of the Chicago Small Business Resiliency Loan Fund. This fund will start with more than $100 million in targeted low-interest loans to severely impacted small businesses. These loans are designed to provide much-needed cash flow relief for neighborhood entrepreneurs. This is a public-private partnership involving a $25 million grant by the City of Chicago, $50 million in capital by the Chicago Community Catalyst Fund, as well as $10 million from Goldman Sachs Urban Investment Group. Thanks to City Treasurer Melissa Conyers-Irvin for her partnership in this effort, as well as to the Goldman team. I also need to acknowledge and thank Fifth Third Bank, who has pledged $1 million to the fund, as well as Bob Clark and his colleagues at Clayco Construction, who have pledged $250,000. We urge others from business, philanthropy, and individuals to contribute to this fund. It is a meaningful way to help our small businesses meet payroll, avoid layoffs, and survive under extraordinarily dire circumstances. In addition to the Resiliency Loan Fund, we are providing further relief to small businesses by extending the due dates for tax payments until April 30th for the following taxes: bottled water tax, checkout bag tax, amusement tax, hotel accommodation tax, restaurant tax, and the parking tax. I finally want you to know that we are in daily conversations with our federal partners, and particularly our Chicago area congressional delegation. Thanks to Senator Durbin and Duckworth and all of the congresspeople who touch Chicago for being our champions in Washington, D.C. We have said, and they know, that federal stimulus packages must bring immediate relief to individuals, not just big businesses, through help like extending and increasing unemployment benefits and more grants and loans to small businesses. Localities like Chicago should not be shouldering this burden alone. Folks, this is a B-size problem, meaning something that can only be solved with billions in needed stimulus support from the federal government. In closing, let me say this. I am, of course, your mayor, but I am also a wife and a mom. I'm a friend to many and a neighbor. My team and I have worked tirelessly over these last 10 months to build an administration steeped in compassion and empathy, to reflect the realities of your lives in everything we do. And now in this moment that challenges us all, I want you to know that far from abandoning these core principles, we are placing them front and center in everything we do. I care about the people in the city that I may never meet, just as I care about my own family, my beloved friends, and my neighbors that I see every day. We have not shied away from facing hard truths and speaking openly about the need for love. And Chicago, we need to love each other with all our hearts today and every day. While this is a time of physical isolation, we need to stay connected. We need the warmth of smiles, hellos, and thank yous, the words of comfort and acknowledgement that each of us, regardless of our station or circumstances, matters. Gwendolyn Brooks got it right. We are each other's harvest. We are each other's business. We are each other's magnitude and bond. These words are truer today than they have ever been. Our challenge is not over and our work is not done, but we will get through this together because we can and we must. God bless you and our great city. Please be safe.
And that was Mayor Lori Lightfoot's address to the city on the COVID-19 pandemic. Paris, what are some of your takeaways?
Brandis, obviously the health considerations are a big concern for everybody in Chicago, but as these shutdowns go from week 1 to week 2 and possibly further, a lot of economic anxiety, and I think the mayor spoke to a lot of that today. $100 million small business loan fund. I mean, you have bars and restaurants. These small businesses operate on such tight margins that they just can't stay open if this goes on longer and longer. So the ideas of suspending amusement taxes, hotel taxes, restaurant taxes, but then saying, you know, we need a stimulus. And she's right. I mean, she's going to have to go to the federal government, and the Senator Durbin and Duckworth are going to have to say, if you're talking about $1 trillion bailout at the federal government, some of this has to come to cities like Chicago and directly to small businesses in a best case scenario to make up for all the revenue lost. I mean, you know, they have to close through no fault of their own, and there needs to be some kind of financial mitigation for this. So I think the mayor is speaking to those things because we are going to have more and more anxiety as this goes into week 2. You'll start to see businesses close, and obviously a lot of layoffs and furloughs right now.
Right, and it's interesting that she said that because earlier on in the speech, she referred to the city's own budget and said, we actually have enough in the reserves to weather this storm, which is relieving, I'm sure, to Chicago residents, but it's also interesting because you don't often hear them saying, hey, look, we've got all this money.
There was an $800 million budget gap that she had to close, and then you've got the pension situation, which is severely in debt, made worse by the fact that what are those pension invested? What are they invested in? And the stock market's not doing well at all, and so those pension payments are going to have to go up, in addition to the loss in some tax revenue here. So again, a federal bailout, it's something that never really is a realistic thing, in terms of like pension bailouts. The federal government wasn't going to touch that. In this case, because of the economic situation of cities, the federal government is going to have to play a role here.
And of course, there was no talk of sheltering in place in this particular speech.
No.
But she did refer, as you and I discussed earlier, she did talk about the extension of the CPS schools closure.
CPS schools closure, up until the 21st, which, Brandis, your kids are in Evanston schools. I think this goes longer than that.
It does, yes.
And I think it's clearly based on the fact that they're projecting out what these coronavirus cases are going to look like. It's still going up. We haven't reached the top of that bell curve, and so we might not for another several weeks.
And the governor has not yet, we don't know if this is coming, but the governor has not yet extended the closure for Illinois schools, because at the time that he made that closure, it was for public-private, it was statewide, and now it's just CPS schools that's extending even further.
But it's interesting, Brandis, and you noted this earlier, Lightfoot was very, very hesitant to close public schools. Governor did it, kind of before her. Now she's kind of taking the lead on keeping those schools longer closed. She didn't want to close them at all. So, it seems like the governor probably will act on this. There doesn't seem to be any indication that people can stop this kind of sheltered existence yet, because this pandemic's not being limited yet.
Not yet. And as the governor and his public health staff said this afternoon, we're not at the top yet, as you and I were talking about. Like, these numbers are going to continue to grow as long as they are able to increase testing and the spread is continuing. But of course, we will have, thank you, Paris, for joining me, of course. And of course, Paris and I will both be back for the show this evening at 7 o'clock. We will have the entirety of this speech again on tonight's edition of Chicago Tonight, right here at 7 p.m., along with complete coverage of COVID-19 in Illinois. Until then, thanks for joining us. I'm Brandis Friedman.
And I'm Paris Schutz. Thank you for joining us. I'm here somewhere.
He's over there.
There
he
I am.
is.
We'll
We're
see you
social
tonight
distancing.
at 7. Wherever.
See you at 7.
That camera. See you at 7.